I met a girl. She's prettier than the stars. Her eyes light up as the moon, where you can just get lost in them. Met by fate, built a connection, realizing how lucky I really am, yet totally fucking screwed from my past, the so called love life. Life brings tears, smiles, and memories. Out of all three, memories last a lifetime. Most of them can be the darkest holes in space.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are certain tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and much more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in just one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Welcome back to another episode of a Wanderer's Way podcast. This is season number 2. Thank you for joining me. And today we have a big one in store for you. So it's all about the tears, the smiles, and the memories you gain, all from relationships, both good and bad. Just think of it this way. The saddest thing is when two people get to know each other and then they're suddenly strangers again. Put this in perspective too. Your tears will dry. Your smiles will fade. But your memories will never die. And those memories, those are the lasting impressions. Those are the ones that will continue on in the future with whoever you will be with, whatever you're doing. They can be a memory that gives you a smile or a memory that just continues to haunt you, to drag you straight through the mud, through hell, agonizing your soul. So all sorts of ways that this can go. But you got to remember, at the beginning of relationships, they're wonderful. You build that connection. Everyone feels that luck inside of them. It's like, oh, I'm so lucky to have met this person. But you kind of get yourself to a spot where you ask yourself, am I really lucky? Or am I totally fucking screwed? So that first bit that I read out at the very beginning of this episode, that's kind of my short story of my life, in a way, of where I am now. I have this amazing, beautiful woman that I'm deeply, madly in love with. She has twin boys. And yeah, I want to marry her and spend the rest of my life with her. But here's this memory, and it's not just a memory. It's something that holds everything back, and it's something from my past. A woman that will refuse to let me go and continues to just agonize me every day. So, long story short, yeah, I've been married. I'm still married. 8 years of marriage. I haven't seen her in 7.5. And she has 2 kids with somebody else. And with that person, still. Yet continues making excuses why to not sign divorce papers. The newest one, oh, I lost them. I did sign them though, but I lost them. Yeah, sure you did. Just like everything else, you know, you say you're going to send the paternity test so I can prove I'm not the dad, because New York State won't let you file for divorce without it. I waited for 2 years for that alone. Yeah, it's never endless. It's just never stops. So the memories of your past can always haunt your future. And all my memories from my past are pretty dark. You know, like everybody has a haunting memory in the back of their mind, you know, from a bad relationship, if you've actually gone through one, which I can't say every single person has. Some people it will affect differently than others. People like myself, it really gets to us. You know, someone you spent years and years with, and they destroy that years of trust with one action. Cheating, finding somebody else, or sitting there lying constantly, or even the worst case scenarios, just very abusive. And walking through these memories of your past can really make or break your future. It depends on how you go about them. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of trust issues. There's going to be just general problems with your mind comprehending if this is real, if this person is the one, if this person's going to do the same thing as that one did back then. Your mind just never seems to give you a rest. And as your brain continues to race, well, so does your tongue. Because you get tired of it, so you start to spit. You start to say what's on your mind because it's driving you mad. And that gets you into trouble. And that leads to a destruction of something that could have been or is really good. You know, it's not always jealousy is brought up just randomly either. You know, there's a lot of stuff that can happen in the past when you're a child. And it has nothing to do with relationships. That will also haunt you in future relationships as well. But why is it that all of your tears can dry up, all of your smiles can fade away, but those memories linger on forever, even when you both have returned to being strangers again? And then you have the awkward walk by. You know, your eyes touch one another's, and then those memories just relapse. But yet, still strangers, still despise each other. Why is it the worst of people will intentionally continue trying for the ones that have a good heart, that are genuine? There's so many questions that can make and break as well. So when I look at everything that's happened to me, and then I'm looking at my future, there's something I have to ask about it, though. So if you were to write a book about your entire life, what would be the final sentence to it? Can you really think of something that can really fit? Would it be about your darkest moments of life? Would it be about the perfect lover that you've had? Or will it be about how you've overcame the agonization in your heart? Which would it be? Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Wanderer's Way podcast. This was season 2, episode 1. And this was an episode to kind of let you guys into my heart and my soul a bit, to kind of get to know the person behind the mic. So I appreciate you guys listening, and I hope you guys will continue on listening to my future podcasts. You guys have a good week.